Hello everyone. Today we have with us Gaurav sir, who is a well-known person and he has explored all of the areas in terms of practice, in terms of job, in terms of corporate knowledge, in terms of entrepreneurship. So, hi Gaurav sir, how are you?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on this platform.
Okay, sir. So, sir, starting from a very basic question, um, how do you start your journey from the day you become a chartered accountant till the day you found out the where you want to get into?
Hmm. It's a good question. And I have a little different take on that. My take is, as you know, my journey, I'll come to that. My take is, I'll start with the punchline first. You never figure out where you want to be. And
Okay.
the day you figure out where you want to be, it's a very boring life.
Okay.
So I've not figured out yet. I don't want to figure out. That's why life remains exploration. That's how I treat my life. In terms of my starting career, I wanted to do practice.
Okay.
But I was confused because corporate world had its own charm kind of thing. I'm talking about around say 12 years, 13 years back from now, right? And MNCs were just coming big, and then it has its own charm. But I wanted a ownership of practice, right? You're viewed as a consultant. You want to consult the client. So I was a little bit confused between these two. So I said, okay, let's toss a coin in a way. I said, okay, I've been chosen by three companies in ICI campus. I'll give only one company.
Okay.
And if it doesn't select me, I'll go to practice. So that's
Okay.
mine. So I went there.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I was got selected. And I got selected very quickly. And say within first half an hour, 1 hour, I was there. I had an offer letter in my hand
Okay.
and I signed it. Then it's okay. Let's join it. I joined it. I worked for 2 years, and after 2 years, there were some personal things which I wanted to do. I always had that practice in back of my mind. So I quit corporate life, went into practice.
Okay.
I did 3 years practice, and
Okay.
along with my practice, I did entrepreneurship. We launched a e-learning portal called CA Shiksha. We launched in 2009. It was first of its kind. That was a good and bad thing for us because we were ahead of time. We were the first portal to launch e-learning for CAs and even first portal for most of the coaching. Problem with that was India was not ready for that. So we used to get a lot of queries say, oh, your portal is very good and all, but can you send me CD because I'm using dial-up connection? How do you IC e-learning? So
Okay.
it was a difficulty that we were facing. And ultimately ICI approached us saying that, do you want to sell it to us because we want to make it free?
Okay.
And so we sold it to them. They integrated in that portal. Now that portal is big. They have many more things. So I'm sure they have upgraded that. It's long back. So that's where we ended. So, but it was a nice experience. Then after 3 years there, I still again wanted to do job because I figured out if you want to do succeed in practice, you need to do certain things which I didn't want to do.
Correct.
I'll not go there. But again, so okay, let's go to company corporate. I again came to corporate. And within corporate last 3 4 years, I said, okay, I'm enjoying my job, but I want to do something more. I always wanted to do something along with my day job where I don't earn something from my passion. So I started speaking, connecting with students, which I'm enjoying. But to a
Okay.
point, will do I think I figured out? No. So to a point, when you start your career, you don't need to figure out an ultimate life goal because there are two problems. One is if you start with that direction, everything will confuse you because everything has pros and cons. You can't figure out what will ultimately turn out to be good. So that's one problem. Second problem is when you think, okay, this is what I ultimately want to do, you'll frustrate it because you're not thought about few things which will you encounter.
Okay.
So I'll say correct approach is figure out what you want to do at that point of time. I'm not saying for 1 month, 2 months. Say again for last next couple of years, I'm okay doing practice, I'm okay doing a taxation, I'm okay doing accounting, whatever. Pursue that. You don't know where your career will take you. You can't plan in eternity, but whatever interests you, what excites you, what will make you wake up in the morning and go to office, pick that up. Things will
Okay.
connect. So when I did my uh, practice, right? So does that help me today? Of course, that helps me, right? When you're Indian CA, you know how to kind of tackle uncertainty, right? Our
Right.
clients don't come very organized. That is the key skill set we don't value. But as you grow in anywhere, you need to tackle uncertainty and be ready with the options. Again, without going into detail, but if you that skill set still helps me. Am I behind my colleagues in corporate? maybe I was behind, though when I came back after taking practice break, but today no, I'm ahead of you. So you'll
Okay.
catch up. Sometimes that experience I didn't think, but it helped me. So don't plan your ultimate life goal. It will figure out. Life will search. You don't need to search it. Go with whatever is you're interested now, but go deeper into it. Do it passionately, and things will connect in future. That's how I think. That's how what has worked.
Correct. So, sir, the issue with the students is that the students, once they become a chartered accountants, they are often confused with passion versus money versus job and the family pressure. Of course, because once someone becomes CA, it's more of a family burden. कि यार अब तो पैसा कमाना है, at least you should start earning. And if you start something like, say, practice, the client won't come to you from a day one. So, how to deal with this situation?
Yeah, so I'll take two things. In practice, I'll say if you want to do practice has its own benefits. You become owner. Second, you view yourself as a professional. If you go to a big C, you should be ready to sacrifice your own identity. You'll get it in due course, but day one you won't get it. If you want in day one, it's okay to go practice. But again, I don't think that's a correct way to choose. Choosing is, do you want to deal with the clients? Do you want to consult? All those things. But if you want to choose practice, give yourself at least 3 years, I'll say. That's one thing. If you don't want to give yourself that much time because of different reasons, because you have a family commitments or different things, then it will be unfair for you to judge whether you failed or succeeded in practice. You need to give yourself at least 3 to 4 years. Second thing is, if you sit in office, client will not come. I'm not sure whether any successful practitioner will tell you or not, but they don't sit in office.
Okay.
You don't need to you need to be on the road.
Okay.
So all the good practitioners who start, they're not sitting in office. They're going to banks, talking to bank managers. They're going to businesses. Sometime in practice, you are talking nonsense. That means you're just building connection. That's okay. As a practitioner, client will not only come to you, tell you, oh, my taxes, how can I reduce tax? He'll also come, my son is not studying, how to make him study, right? Which is not your job, right? But he's looking as your trusted person. Right. Unless you build that trust, he comes with you for everything. That's not a permanent client. Once you build that trust, that client trust, when he trusts you blindly, when he thinks that he can tell you everything about himself, whatever he feels comfortable, that trust takes time. So don't sit in your office. Your staff may be sitting in office even if nothing. I've seen CAs who succeeded whose office was locked when client reached there. Because they know the clients who's walking on the road and reaches doesn't pay much, right? So they reach out, they figure out, you're starting in a small town or wherever, you figure out who are good clients. And sometimes we do things for free. That's okay. So there are different ways, but I'll say if you want to start practice, give yourself time and don't sit in office. That's a bad strategy. You should be on the ground and at the client's office, even if that means it's waste of time, you're building relationships, and then it pays in long term.
Okay. So, and what percentage you would give to a successful chartered accountant in terms of networking? Because what happens is कि once you become a chartered, इतना networking नहीं हो पाता है, and people are unable to network in CA fields because we don't have a college life and we don't have that much type of bondings. So, how networking played an important role in your life, and how does it help in achieving a good pathway?
Sure. So see, networking is sometimes overrated and misunderstood, right?
Okay.
I'm an introvert. So if you ask me to go to a party, I'll eat food and come, like, unless I know someone, which is fine. I enjoy food. But so if to be precise, I will not approach someone and make networking, which is okay. But that doesn't mean I don't have a network. So just going to random people and talking, they will talk to you, but that doesn't mean that they'll give you business. There are two problems. If you're an introvert, that is very awkward thing to do. You're making yourself uncomfortable and doing it. And somewhere we've been told, oh, it's okay, you should be uncomfortable and do that. I don't agree with that point because that acquaintance may or may not help you. So it's not doesn't matter how much network you are, it matters how deep your networks are. So I'm an introvert. So if I'm meeting someone, I need to make sure the quality of my interaction is good. So they'll start trusting me. So, trust me, to succeed in a practice, you don't need 100 clients. You need 10 good clients who pay you well.
Okay.
You'll reach break even, right? So ensure the quality of networking, not quantity. If you're extrovert, you'll make more connections. Maybe if someone makes 100 connections, 10 of them will click. If you make 10, maybe only 5 will click. This is okay. If your personality is not, don't go overboard. It's sometimes over-marketed. But work on the quality of connections. And see, connections is like it's a chain, right? If someone trusts you, actually, he'll connect you to 10 more folks.
Correct.
In initial years, build on the quality of connection than quantity, and you don't need to be extroverts. People will start coming to you, you'll start making that change. But I'll say if it's not in your nature, don't worry. Kind of focus on the quality of connection, irrespective of how introvert, outrovert. Everyone has best friends, right? That means you're a person people are interested in once they interact with you. So just focus on that, and I'm sure in the longer term, if you give yourself enough time, you'll make enough network. There's no way that you will not make network.
Okay. Sir, and in the coming days, we see artificial intelligence growing up. We see a lot of tools coming up. But to be honest, as a chartered accountant, we are lacking in this field, because we don't have a subject also now, which is also removed, and we don't have that much knowledge. If I talk to some engineer, they are much inclined towards this AI and machine learning and blockchain and all this stuff. So how we as a CA can cope up with this, and how do you see this as a future or growing path?
Sure. See, we are a CA, our expertise is finance. So that's where we need to leverage our expertise. So we're not competing with engineers, that's for sure. And we don't want to compete because in finance they can't compete with us, that's for sure. And if you ask someone filing their returns, so they'll figure out. So you don't need to compete. Only problem now that we're facing is every fields need decent amount of technological knowledge,
Correct.
which is doable. So I'll say don't depend on ICI for everything. It will not come in course. Even if it will come in course, you'll realize it's not up to date because the speed at which these technologies are changing, it's difficult for ICIs to maintain that speed, at least at this point of time. So they are launching a lot of courses, which is fine. But again, you can't rely on them. So where's the gap and opportunity out there? Opportunity is when you go to any workplace. As a finance person, most probably you will be asked along with your finance job to be part of finance transformation. What is finance transformation? They are converting their manual process into automation, right?
Okay.
That means you need to understand technology. I'm not saying that everyone need to code. It's not necessary. Although I realize that a lot of new generation, irrespective of whether they're finance now, they're very good at coding. Once they start doing it, even if they're afraid, they pick up very fast. They surprise you. But even if you don't want to code, that's completely fine. That's not compulsory. But what is compulsory is understanding technology. If someone tells you, okay, we need to upgrade your database, and you say, oh, I don't know what database is, that's problem. So
Correct.
database, maybe it was a technical term, today it's not. It's a general communication. Same way. If someone tells you about servers, AWS, that's a general term. And you can learn that if you research enough, you invest enough. So understand that technical terminologies, that's very important. But if your appetite, go and learn some of the automation tools. They will help you. If you don't learn, you can always learn on the job. But if you learn now, it will give you edge. But trust me, if you can do CA, those are cakewalks. I've seen people who thought, oh, I can't code. Once you get them started, they do much better than a lot of folks. So give yourself exposure to technological terms, understand how technology today works, what is new coming. That much is okay. If you don't want to learn coding, if you want to learn, there's a lot of material out there. You learn very, very quickly. Try it.
Okay. So, sir, you mentioned about you have met with a lot of CAs during your journey and during this course. So, what is a bare minimum expectation from a fresher chartered accountant when he wants to get into the industry? And what are the things you as a person personally look into a CA when you are hiring someone for your company or anything? Matlab?
Sure. See, one thing that is required, and you'll say that I'm talking basics, is knowing accounting.
Okay.
And you say, oh, no, all CAs know accounting, but that's not true. So first is know your basics very, very clearly. I'm not saying that know your basics just on a bookish level. So at one place I was giving interview and that person started asking me question. I'll give you some of the story. So I'm talking about long back. That AS on impairment had just come to India. So I was given a task in my articleship and I tried figuring out how to do that testing and no one could tell me because it was a new standard. So I went to my friends who were in Big Four. I was from a mid-size, small-size firm. I said, okay, how you guys are doing? They said, we are giving a disclaimer that it's new, we are not tested. It's okay, but I need to do because my assignment is all about finding out. One of the Big Fours has outsourced that kind of to us. So I figured out I couldn't find. I studied all the case studies, IES and everything. And ultimately I spent 2 months and did that impairment analysis, big 100-page report and gave it to client. And after handing over, my interview was in that company was in next week. My whole interview, that person kept asking about that impairment. He asked me, how did you find CGU and all those, and kept answering 1 hour. And ultimately I asked that person, okay, before we stop, I want to ask one question. No one knows about this impairment standard. I figured out no one could help me. How you're asking so many questions? Are you doing that in your job? He said, I didn't understand what you're speaking, even a single word. But you cannot lie for 1 hour. I kept peeling to figure out whether you actually done it or not. Is your mind analytical enough or not? Whatever you've done is useless for me. But is your approach to go deeper, or you look at surface? If you are lying, if your approach is not to go deeper, you would have stopped by 15, 20 minutes, right? So I'm seeing whether you're trainable or not, whether your attitude is right or not. Okay. So to your question, whether you know your stuff or not, if you've done an audit and I ask you 10 questions, oh no sir, this is I don't know, I just did the vouching and my senior did finalization. Even if it did you have a curiosity to ask, okay sir, how did you close that issue? Can you tell me? Right. Because I did vouching. So that attitude of going deeper, attitude of taking ownership and knowing your fundamentals very, very strong. Don't say, if I ask you a ratio, don't say this is divided by this, I don't know why. So knowing things fundamentally, knowing things functionally, whatever you have been studying, if you know that deeper, everything else will be overlooked because there's a shortage of that kind of knowledge. You may be surprised, but that's it.
Correct. Right, true. So, sir, you have also started your own startup and ventures. So, how did you get a motivation of that level to start on your own, to take a risk? And it's not an easy thing for a CA to move from a big salary to starting something on its own and putting his career into a bit risky position. So, what gave you this motivation?
Okay, let me tell you. When I was doing CA, why I was doing CA? Because somewhere I heard and I knew that there are two professions which will never die of hunger: doctor and CA. They don't retire. If I don't earn, I'll put a table somewhere and I'll still get an audit. I still can file tax returns, and which is still a lot of things are automated, but your knowledge no one can take you if you're a good CA, if you've done your articleship well. And I had done my articleship very well. In first year, I was doing final year articles work because final year articles were finding a way to give away work. I said, okay, give it to me. So I spent my articleship well. So I was very confident that CA is a profession, I will not die out of hunger. I mean, maybe exaggerate, I don't know, maybe some CS struggling, so but I can tell them that was my confidence. So if after doing CA, I cannot take risks, then what else can I take, right? If as an MBA, I take a break, there will be break. If nothing happens, I'll start my practice, I'll struggle. So that's one thing. Second thing is my family gave me a lot of confidence. Sometimes we underestimate. They think, oh, they are expecting so much from me. So that's what my case. So my family expected so much from me. But the day I decided to quit, I said, okay, come, we'll eat one chapati less, one we'll eat roti kam khayenge, Raja, come home, we'll stay together. That gives you confidence. I'm talking about my grandfather who always wanted me to, I said, okay, come, dekhte kya hoga. So sometimes you underestimate. We think that your family will not support you, but they'll support you to best. And I can tell you, your family can be your best motivator and friend. Don't say, oh, they don't understand how corporate work works. They have seen the world. And usually world works same way in all generations. So one is CA gives you a lot of confidence if you want to take it. Understand, CA gives you a degree which will never let you die out of hunger. You'll do something good even if you don't get a good job. Second is, if my family gave me a lot of confidence, so I tried that. And they've supported me at all the stages whenever I wanted to go back or try different things. But those two things help.
True. Great. So, sir, do you believe in a principle of never settle in life, or in terms of always find something new on daily basis? And how do you work on this?
Yeah, see, one thing I try is So one thing which, again, I'm not very good, but all of us are not good, is ready to feel embarrassed. Right? Okay. If we try something, biggest thing we don't try, how it will look when I fail. You need to get comfortable with at some stage in life. Sooner you get it, better it is. I'll take your example, right? You're starting something new. I'm sure you're also afraid, right? You didn't wait 10 years to gain that experience and do that. And we'd also did, when we tried our e-learning portal, we tried something very similar. tell you something
Okay.
from that.
Okay.
So, but I think that's a courage you took, right? And it's okay if someone says you're failed. Doesn't matter to me. The day you stop taking seriously what others say, that's the ultimate freedom you'll get. You need to get it today at the age of 18, 20, 25, 50, 65. The day you'll get it, you'll be ultimate free. The sooner you get it, better your life will be. To that point, I don't bother what everyone says.
Okay.
So when I started putting out uh, tips for students or putting out teaching, I was okay. Some people will say it doesn't look good. That's okay. I'm okay to feel embarrassed. I'm got comfortable with it. But in this process, I'm learning. So I get a lot of speaking assignment, and I usually try to take something new topic.
Okay.
Why? Because once you give me a new topic, and it's 1 month down the line, that 1 month is very hectic for me because every day after late night, midnight after job, I'm studying that subject.
Okay.
But if I don't do, what will I learn? Then I'm speaking same thing again and again. What is learning? So I'll say two things. One is the desire to know something new is important. Second is don't feel bad. Don't care about looking bad. It's okay. The day you leave that behind, that day you'll be able to do a lot in life.
Correct. Great. So, sir, what is your major key learning during this process of journey, and any sort of advice of upcoming CAs or those who are going to become a CA? Any advice for them for some career or something?
I'll say one thing is think big. Indian CAs are very equipped in terms of, again, we blame ICF for a lot of things, which is okay, but understand Indian CA is one of the best qualified CAs. I can assure you.
Okay.
There's nothing that will, if you pass Indian CA, unless you are not done articleship well and all those things, you've done articleship well, and then you pass Indian CA, you are very, very equipped. Only thing we're lacking is we are lacking courage to do something big. So when you get out, have that courage. If you want to do a profile, fight for it. If you don't get immediately, find a workaround. So that's one thing. Second thing is, I'll say is work on your basics. That's very important. Sometimes we are in very hurry to reach somewhere. If you enter a corporate or you do practice, it takes time. You need to be patient with yourself. And it's okay. As a young professional, none of us are. I was not. I was a fool the day I joined. And I learned with my own mistakes. But that patience is required. Nothing comes easy. Just assess yourself how you're doing. But unless you give yourself that time, whether you're doing practice and you start assessing after 1 year, oh, I'm still not doing good, I should quit. Or you in job, you say, oh, no, I not achieved something. You'll not achieve something very quickly. It takes time. Give yourself that time and have courage to try something extraordinary, something which is beyond your capability. You will fail. These two things that I think we CAs are missing. Otherwise, in terms of capabilities, we are much ahead than any other accounting professionals.
True. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your valuable time. It was a great session having you, and it was a very good insights for CA who want to decide their career and pathway in future. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I wish you all the best. I think you're doing a great job for CA students, and I'm sure it will help a lot of students. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, sir.